Hello, and welcome to Interview with an Artist. Today, I'll be interviewing... Alright, so, welcome to Interview with an Artist. Today, we're going to be talking to Terrance Nicholson, who is a voice actor. He does Horror Shorts Party. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you're fine. I was putting my tabs down so I could just
okay.
focus on this and not knock over my water bottle.
Very good
Great start.
Very good start, yeah. Horror Shorts Party is like the main like brand thing you do, and then besides that, it's just like a bunch of like random animators and stuff that reach out to you and stuff, right?
People I reach out to mostly. Most of my work has been me having to get in direct contact with people. But yeah, Horror Shorts Party is what I'm mostly known for. It's what I've been doing now for like 2 years. Holy crap.
Yeah.
Like, it just hit me. I've been doing it for like 2 years now, and it's been my main series I'm known for. I've also worked with Wansi Entertainment, Arcade Cloud. I've really enjoyed working with them, and they had a little side channel called Gamenesia that was really fun. And Pop Tunes TV, I got to be in a pilot called The Famousons, and I got to voice the main character, Chad Famouson, which was pretty cool for me.
That's a good name, Chad Famouson.
Yeah, Chad Famouson. And like, it was such a nice project to be in, man, because all those characters were so fleshed out, and I felt like an actor on a set. Like, that's what it felt like at the time.
Yeah. Was there like an actual nice. Like, how do you do that? Is there like a director there, and you're all over Discord recording together? Like when you do lines back and forth, or do you just do all your lines, send it in, and then they just kind of
depends on who you're working with. Depends on who you're working with. There's a lot of people. The majority of my clients, they just ask for the audio, send me the script, I record it, send it back to them, and then, they decide whether it's good or not. Maybe I have to send some pickups. They send payment when everything's good. But there's certain people like, I'm sure you've heard of Max Fiad or Soul Brother Number 3.
Maybe.
Because I think I've showed you some of the stuff. Yeah.
Okay,
Soul Brother Number 3, and a couple other people I've worked with, they do like to direct a few clients, but a lot of people, they'll just ask for the script. Just depends on who you're working with.
Okay.
I prefer the like Discord direction though, because I am so anxious about how I sound. I always think I'm messing up in some way, and it's just nice to have someone be like, yeah, that's good. Yeah, we're good. Let's move on. Like, I got shit to do.
Well, and also it would just be good for someone to be like, I like that, but maybe change it up a little bit here, do that. So then you just know that you're giving them what they want, right?
Yeah. That instant gratification or instant response, so you're good. It is a comfortable feeling.
Yeah. So just asking a question for those who don't know. So that thing that you have on your back wall, that's just for like soundproof, and you got some on your ceiling there too.
Oh yeah. This is soundproofing. This is all foam mattress pads. I think. Okay, no, those came from Walmart, but you don't see them anywhere. No, not that wall. So on the other side here, I used to work at Kmart. So the first ones I got were from Kmart, and they're all like square shaped.
Yeah.
But the ones from Walmart have this round, some triangles up here type, or waves up here type thing. But yeah, that's like surrounds this entire room because I record all my stuff here.
Yeah.
And I like to have as much soundproofing as possible.
And then your mic, what are you using there?
I'm using a Neumann TLM 103. This cost me about $1,000. To be honest with you, I did not need this mic. Where I'm at, I love it. It's so good. It is industry standard. Like,
yeah,
if you have watched movies, if you've seen Under the Red Hood, if you've watched shows like, I don't know if Avatar, Under the Red Hood, I think Gears of War as well, there's tons of games that use this mic, tons of movies, games, cartoons. It's this, the Neumann U87, and the Sennheiser MKH 416 that are like the 3 industry standards. You'll hear them everywhere on like professional quality stuff.
I love Under the Red Hood. John DiMaggio was such a great. Yeah.
Or sorry, movie. Yes.
No, John DiMaggio was a great Joker. Totally, people sleep on that so much. I mean, obviously, like Mark Hamill is the GOAT. Blah blah blah. We understand that, but I'd say John DiMaggio is like number 2 as far as like animated Jokers go. He's really good.
Yeah. I switch between him and Troy Baker a lot because I really like Arkham Origins.
Oh yeah, he was cool too.
Troy Baker's Joker influenced my Joker voice. Originally, I was trying to do some like really gravelly thing that just sounded awful and didn't sound like Joker at all. So I just kind of bit the bullet, tried the inflection he does here and there, and it just kind of was fun. It was fun stretching my voice like that, so I just went with it.
Yeah, that is very Jokery. Even just that little bit that you just gave us, that was Jokery. I felt the Joker coming through the screen.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Honor.
Let's show people what you do. Okay, so I'll go ahead and play this. Wait, is Sleepman an actual... Is that an actual Mega Man character?
I believe so, actually.
Here to bring terror to this lost scream in terror as I... You are shit. I can't breathe. Oh my god, I can't breathe. Hey man, sheep are plenty terrifying. I mean, don't you dare laugh at me. I'll choke you with a ball of cotton.
This took me like 30 minutes to record it.
I love it.
Hey, you'll pay for... Hey, you'll pay for... Shut up!
So you're doing both voices, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think right after this point,
Why are you being so mean to me?
I think this was where I had started adding stuff. I think it ended after like the crying. I have to check again. But shout out to Smoke the Bear.
Oh.
He was the
oh shit.
He was the guy who had... It's fine.
Oh no, yeah. I started playing.
We don't want that happening.
Yeah, right. David Bowie's people will not accept that.
Yeah. But Smoke the Bear was the guy who had originally gave me the script, and he was for a video on his channel, but he was nice enough to let me put it on my channel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He's a cool dude.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's and then do you just want to do the what did you call it? The demo reel.
Demo real quick.
Yeah, where's that
just
at?
Go to videos.
Yeah.
It might be down here a little bit, but it's early 2022. It basically right there.
Ooh,
voice reel right there.
Right here,
I'm
right
pointing
here.
like I'm right next to you.
Yeah, right. It's right here, you fucking idiot.
Come on.
All right, here.
Terrance Nicholson.
Oh shit.
Okay, everyone.
These
are auditions for new playable Fortnite characters. Send in the first person or thing. And I feel like there's a real connection between us.
Oh, I love the way that
we're
looks.
meant to be together.
Me too.
Do you
yeah.
feel the same way?
This channel was a lot of fun.
Definitely have to pillage. That's a requirement. The other stuff is optional, but I highly recommend the raping. Nope, never heard of it. What are you, a secret government agency or something? Yes, my dear boy. Do you or your mother want to see what a pyromaniac can do with a little fire? I'm sure they'll be A-okay. Besides, your job's on the line, so I know they'll be good. And my sister Paris wore this totally cute limited Gucci number last night. Work, honey. Just a quick heads up. We might have had a little bit of a whoopsie-poopsie.
Oh wow, that one's really great
Okay,
too.
Mr. Fortnite.
Thank you. Yeah, I've had a few people give compliments on that one.
My armpit stains go all the way down to my love handles. Will I ever find love? What's the point of love? What's the point of all this? Why do you all shoot each other so much?
That one might be my favorite. That last one was really funny. Oh,
thank you.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead.
Go straight to music.
Yeah, I know. It's just because that's what I use YouTube for, like 90% of the time, just listening to music while I'm editing.
So many of those projects were so much fun, man. Game Ninja, it was so much fun to work on. That Mega Man one in particular that you just saw, like that one, I really enjoyed. I got to voice multiple characters in that project. I think. Sorry, God.
No, I didn't say. Good. What were you gonna say?
Yeah, I would just say I got to voice multiple characters in that project. All those projects were a lot of fun. The feeling like a bad person on a desert island one. I got so many people telling me, "Are you sure you want that in there? Are you sure you want that in?" They were like, that just may be a little like they were trying to say it might offend some people. Like, and I'm like, it's part of the script though.
Wait,
it was a line.
What did you say exactly?
In the video, it was the other stuff is optional. How did I do the voice?
Oh,
I sound like Vegeta there for a moment.
You did sound exactly.
The other stuff is optional, but I highly recommend the raping. That's what I said.
Yeah,
because we said mostly raping and pillaging. That's mostly what we did.
Yeah.
So those are the says. Then he goes, "Oh, that's a bad guy." But that line that I included, everyone was like, "I don't know if that's really something you want in there." I'm like, I'm keeping it because the voice is too different. The project was so much fun. It was a fantastic short film. Everyone should watch it. It's Feeling Like a Bad Person on a Desert Island by Jack McCafferty. That dude is super talented, super funny.
Oh yeah, I'll have to check that out. I liked the way that it looked too. A lot of those had like super cool art style. So how does it work? Do you just kind of like, do you scroll through Newgrounds or YouTube or something?
Newgrounds was where I started a lot. I still go there because there's a lot of, I'm fucking scratching my armpit like an animal here. I have no manners. Anyways, yeah, I started searching on Newgrounds back in like 2016, or maybe it was like late 2015. But
that's where you found me.
I started search. Yeah. I had searched a lot of people on there, bro.
Yeah.
Siri, shut up. I don't know why you came up here. But anyways, yeah. So I would search people on Newgrounds. I search a lot on YouTube just because YouTube is generally more where the views are, and exposure is kind of part of the business.
Right.
Like, I'm not saying you should work for exposure, or if anyone says, "Oh, I'll pay," if anyone says the phrase "I'll pay you" in exposure, run from that point.
Definitely.
That's messed up. If they say like, "Hey, this is all I can really offer," that might be fine. Like that's just that person. Like, they could be lying, but that's at least a little better than "I'll pay you" in exposure. That shows very bad. What's the word I'm looking for?
It shows that they have disrespect for your profession.
Yeah, disrespect for your profession, and like they just disrespect for you as a human. They're literally saying, "I'll pay you in exposure." Like, that's that worth it.
Right. Like, if they were like, "Listen, I don't have any money, and if you want to do it for free, you can."
I have had that many a times, I can tell you.
That's totally different than being like, "Listen, this is going to benefit you because you're going to be on my..."
Yeah, let me... Yeah. I totally got you on this one. And I've had one client like that, but I kind of knew that was going to be bullshit. Yeah, I search Newgrounds a lot. Now I search YouTube because Newgrounds, I look for like the hidden gem. This is the person that could make the next big thing in like 5 to 10 years. Because I see, look at Smiling Friends, for example.
Yeah. That
just came out. And I don't know too much about it. Did Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared get like a series or something?
Did they?
Yeah, hold on. I'm legit about to Google this because I heard something about Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared getting like a TV series.
And for those of you who don't know, Newgrounds is a website with a bunch of Flash cartoons on it. Well, they're not Flash cartoons anymore because Flash isn't...
Flash cartoons? Well, yeah.
They're not, but they're basically what Flash cartoons used to be, whatever.
As I was getting at, with shows like Smiling Friends and Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared did get some kind of reboot. I think it was a Netflix series or TV series or something. I always hear shit from the grapevine. I'm not trying to do a whole 30-minute research in the middle of this.
Oh, no.
But my point is that these were people who started on the internet, making these old Flash cartoons that we loved, these parodies, and now they're getting to the point, they've been working to the point that they're getting on TV, Smiling Friends on Adult Swim and HBO Max. Like, that's a big deal. That's the next step, in my opinion, for a lot of online animators. And that's why I try to work with these people. Sorry, you might hear a dump truck driving by.
No, I was going to say, sorry, I completely forgot what Smiling Friends was. Yeah, that's the thing with Psychic Pebbles. Yes, they do have a show on Adult Swim. You're right.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Him and Michael Cusack, they have a show on Adult Swim.
Yeah,
and it's very funny.
My buddy Franco, he's been a huge fan of like all of these Newgrounds animators since he was a kid, more than I was. And he watched that series, he marathoned it, and he said there's so many names that you will know of in the credits, like animator-wise, YouTube. Some of them are like old school animators. Some of them are just YouTubers in there. It's insane, but that's the next step. So I'm trying to find these people who have that capability, who have that talent, that if they keep working at it, they will be in the next, or they will make the next big thing. And I see Newgrounds and YouTube as well, but a lot of times Newgrounds, where you find those hidden gems, that's where you're going to get that.
Yeah, for sure. That makes sense. Yeah, a lot of great, talented things have come from Newgrounds, no doubt about it. It's a shame that it's not. Excuse me. It's a shame that it's not more popular than it is, honestly, because it could be like a terrific platform, but
it's kind of by design looks like it's for like, and this is because I remember checking it out back then, but like middle school and high schoolers.
Yeah,
like it really looks like that. It's all cartoony. You got a bunch of flash games with achievements and your little cartoons and the section you don't want your parents to see.
Yeah, right. The like Evangelion porn dating sim.
Bro.
Yeah.
Bro, the way Newgrounds is set up is insane, but I love it. And that's kind of what I like about it too, is the fact that they have that stuff on there at all, because it's like it shows how pure and uncensored the stuff is.
Yeah, it's cool. And like they don't
have to follow YouTube's rules. Yeah.
And then they went on to do cool things like Tom Fulp. He did the Alien Hominid game. He did Castle Crashers. Yeah. That's
what I'm saying. People come from YouTube and Newgrounds and they go make something great. I'm trying to find those people.
Yeah, well, I'm sure you will, man. I mean, you're just from that demo reel, you can see that you've already worked with like some pretty freaking talented people. Yeah. So it's only a matter of time, I feel, if you just keep it up. You know what I mean? So good.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
That's been the hard part, keeping it up, is like, since I've started working with Horror Shorts Party, I get a lot more work. And it's been hard trying to balance doing those, then messaging, newer clients, messaging current clients, trying to keep in contact with everybody. I've been playing more indie games because I'm trying to reach out to game developers and stuff. I've actually gotten a few responses.
That's a good idea, honestly.
Yeah, and the Switch gets really cheap indie games on sale a lot, so it's perfectly fine with me.
Yeah, no, totally. So last time we were talking about Metal Gear Solid, and I got the fucking Metal Gear Solid collection for my birthday. Have you ever heard of this before? Because this is fucking nuts. This has Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, 3, and 4. All in...
I have seen it in stores, but I already had the HD collection, and then I already had like all the games that it had, except for what does it come in total with?
Oh, it also has Peace Walker and like the old Nintendo games, like Snake's Revenge and all that jazz.
Oh, really?
Damn. Yeah, I know. And it was like
that is pretty insane.
Yeah, I was like, holy shit. So I was replaying Metal Gear Solid 1, which you had said was your favorite Metal Gear Solid. And goddamn, is that game fucking incredible. That is such a good game. But then I got to the point where you're getting tortured by Ocelot. And I couldn't beat it. I just couldn't do it. I mean, I pushed as hard as I can. I must have redid that like 20 times. I'm not even kidding. Like literally 20 times.
It's not easy.
No, the only time I've ever beat it before was when I was emulating it. Don't emulate video games, kids. It's illegal. But I was emulating it, and I had like a fake turbo thing, so I just pushed down on X and it like pushed it fast for me, you know?
Yeah. That little bluffy says, "Don't use turbo." Well, no, that's bullshit.
Yeah, it's bullshit. You can totally use turbo, but I didn't have turbo. So I was like, fuck it. You know, what's the worst that could happen if like you don't beat it, right? If you don't beat it, he basically tells you he's going to like R-word Meryl.
Yeah, he insinuates it very hard.
Yeah, he's just like, I'm going to go R-word Meryl now, and then
I'm going to have a lot of fun with her. And it's something to that, right?
Yeah, and he's just like, I don't know how you could ever look in the mirror again. And it's just like, oh, Jesus, I feel like such a loser. Because you play Metal Gear Solid to feel like a fucking badass. You're Solid Snake. He's like the coolest dude in the world. To lose that
the clone of the ultimate soldier.
And that's the only Metal Gear Solid game that has an alternate ending too. So if you lose that, then Meryl isn't at the end of it like on the motorcycle. It's Otacon instead. So it just
I know. I've beaten it plenty of times. I did both. My friend took a battery to his PlayStation controller and started. I only have my PS5 controller here at the moment, so he started doing this, and this somehow worked.
Really?
It made it go so much easier. Yeah. That's how he did it to get the real ending.
I was fucking sweating, dude. I was literally like...
It is frustrating. You played Peace Walker?
No, that's like the one that I haven't played. I'm going to though, because I'm replaying through all of them. But
you're gonna wish there was an alternate hooking option.
Oh no,
because there is a torture scene in that is far worse. That is far harder, dude. Oh my god, I got I had to ask my buddy Riker to do it for me. Because I was like, I can't, dude. This is fucking ridiculous.
Wait,
I hated it.
Is it like an alternate ending thing too if you lose?
No,
okay.
no, there's no alternate ending. You just have to keep doing it until you get it right. And then after that, you have to try to sneak out, and if you get caught, you have to go through the torture scene again.
Oh, motherfucker, that sounds so hardcore.
Oh, bro, it's so brutal. And then like just in case no one told you, because I didn't know this immediately when I had played Ground Zeroes, there's a secret ending in Peace Walker. It's not an alternate ending, it's just the second ending.
Oh, I see.
So you beat the game, and then you have to do like some of these side missions, some basic side missions. You have to build something. I won't spoil what it is, but you essentially have to build something. And then once you get that built, then you do these side missions and something happens, and then it all kicks off, and you're in this next part of the game where some big twist happens. And again, I'm not going to spoil it. It's a fun game, but you're probably not going to like it that much. I'm just not going to lie to you.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I never played it. It just never really looked like that great, but I just figured I would, go ahead and give it a chance.
If you have it, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I did after I played the HD collection. I never got to play Peace Walker either.
Yeah, because I never had a PSP.
I did. I just never got Peace Walker. And when I did have a PSP, I wish I still had it, but my little brother had been playing my PSP. He got frustrated and bit the screen and cracked it in half.
That really? Who does that?
A 2-year-old who was angry at a video game.
Damn. That's some real anger.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
It's okay. I've done things like that before too. I was mad at my brother when I was a little kid, and I broke his Warcraft 2 CD in half.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, I just fucking broke that thing. I was like 6 or something. I was pissed.
I would have killed you.
Yeah, dude. I was so mad.
Because like with my little brother, he was just angry at the game. He wasn't angry he didn't try to take anything out of it.
Yeah, no, this was like a direct attack on him because he wasn't letting me. I wanted to play. Have you ever played Sam & Max, the LucasArts video game?
I've heard of them.
I've heard
them. I've always seen ads for them.
So I always liked LucasArts games when I was a kid, like Monkey Island, Sam & Max, all that. I wanted to play Sam & Max, and it was my fucking computer, which I had for some reason, even though I was like a little kid. It was like a gift for me. And my brother, probably rightfully so, was like mad about that. So he put like a password on my computer, and then he was playing it, so I couldn't. And I couldn't have that anymore.
That is kind of a dick move, though. Like, I wouldn't do that to
But yeah, it is kind of a dick move. But then at the same time, he was like a
there only one save?
I don't know. I don't remember that at all. Yeah, it was a dick move for me to break the game too. But yeah, all I wanted to do was just play Sam & Max and watch the Johnny Castaway screensaver, which is some real OG shit for anyone who knows about that.
Johnny Castaway. I'm sure I've seen it. I've just never heard the name.
So it was like a Windows 95 thing, and it's just Johnny on like a little island, and just all these different things happen to him, and he makes these like, Windows 95 noises, just like, oh, hey, oh.
I think I know what you're talking about, yeah.
Yeah, and I thought
it's way in the back here.
Yeah, it's some pretty obscure shit, but I loved that, so. Yeah. So when did you get into voice acting? Like, when did all that start? It
was 2014. I had bought the entire series of Death Note on DVD because I had got way back in 2012 these like little volume sets from Otakon, but I never finished the series. So I bought it online, watched the entire series, and I just loved it. It's such a good anime. I have the entire manga as well, and I have 2 of the like alternate universe books or something. I have the second live action Japanese film.
Cool.
I love the series, and I loved L as a character in particular. I thought the voice acting, especially for an English dub, was phenomenal. And the guy who did L was the best in my opinion. He really made the character his own, and that's really hard to do with like an anime dub, especially where you have to match the lip flaps super hard to make it feel so natural. But I loved it that much that I watched the behind the scenes of all of L's actor, Alessandro Giuliani, and then I decided to watch all the others, and it just looked like a lot of fun. So I was just like, I really want to do this. I told my friends, they said, yeah, you could totally do this, because they all agreed I had like a pretty deep voice, at least out of the 3 of us. So they thought I could do it, and I just from that point I had a cheap cell phone.
Yeah.
And at the time, it was like a cheap little smartphone. I recorded off of that, and I just spoke off of that while reading creepypastas back in the day. My friend edited them, and then stopped doing that when I got a good mic. I'd found the Soul Brother number 3 or Max Fiad's How to Be an Online Voice Actor series, which at that point was just part 1 and 2. And he said, "Oh, this is the mic you need to get. This is what you need for soundproofing and all this stuff." Got all the stuff I needed. And at first I started auditioning on behindthevoiceactors.com, but I didn't like that site because it's very amateurish. Have you ever been on there?
No, I was going to ask about that, and I was going to ask about voices.com too. I wanted to get your take on both of those.
So, behindthevoices.com, maybe it's good now. Maybe it is. I don't know. At the time, all I was seeing was, and it seemed like this was the point, so it's not, I can't befault them for it, if I use that word correctly. But basically, it was mostly fan dubs and a bridge series. That's mostly what you're going to find on them. Maybe like sometimes a fan dub of a game that didn't have like a dub, which was kind of cool. There was like no voice acting. It'd be kind of cool to dub that. But a lot of times it was, we're going to dub this manga. We're going to do an abridged series of this thing, or excuse me, sorry. Here's this audio drama. The problem was I got actually casted a lot. Like I got 10 roles in a month, but none of those projects came out. And then I got cast in a few more. One of them came out, or 2 of them came out, but the sound quality wasn't that good. A lot of people had really bad mics. I had one project where the director did not care and was not being like not communicating with anyone. And when I asked about it, they were just like, "Well, it is a fan project, so you just have to expect to wait." I'm like, okay, whatever. People were not taking it seriously on there. So I realized this is for amateur, like I'm kind of getting into it. I just want to do some fan dubs for a bit. I want to build my portfolio. I want to build my name.
Right.
So I realized I had to get in projects that people were actually going to watch. If you do a fan dub, your friends might like it. You might show it off to a few people. It might get some views. I don't watch a whole lot of fan dubs. Maybe you disagree, but like,
no,
right.
No. I like a bridge series. I like Team 4-Star and stuff.
Bridge series,
yeah,
fine.
Like Little Karibo, yeah, but fan dubs, nah, definitely not.
But fan dubs are not that popular, so you're going to show them off to a few friends. Might get some people saying, "Oh, you did really good," but no one's really watching that. But people will stumble on to random video game parodies and anime parodies and just funny cartoons on the internet.
Yeah, for sure.
So I wanted to start working with those people, those super talented animators. And that's what got me working on YouTube and Newgrounds and stuff, because I asked people, "Hey, do you hire voice actors?" They said, "Yeah, we just need a demo." I just got to work on a demo. And from that point, my main work has been from Newgrounds and YouTube. Because Behind the Voice Actors was just too amateurish, and I was trying to build my portfolio, as I said.
You get someone like you who's like very dedicated. I mean, you spend $1,000 on your fucking mic, like that's dedication. But it's.
But I really didn't need to.
You didn't need to, but the fact that you did shows that you actually give a shit. I mean, so many people are just like so half-ass on it. I mean, I went through like my 20s trying to make so many things with so many different people, and they just don't.
Yeah.
They get like halfway into it and they're like, "Wait a second, this is like work? This isn't just like a conversation that we're gonna have like over some drinks. Like this, we actually have to like sit down and like work on this." And that's a problem with so many like artists that do this kind of stuff. Yeah. So
we'll see. Here's the thing. Sorry, go ahead.
No,
you're not finished, my bad.
Oh, no. That was basically, just go on.
So in regards to everyone starting with like wanting to work with people, I did do the same thing. It's just, it wasn't you don't really like meet up with a bunch of other people who want to be voice actors. You got to find other people who are doing other things.
Yeah.
But so me and some friends had started a YouTube channel fresh out of high school. I mean, literally, we were just on the last days of graduating high school.
Yeah.
And we were just on the last days of graduating high school. And we uploaded a video, and we just decided we were going to upload whatever on it, but we eventually wanted to do like game reviews and let's plays, and we wanted to expand it. See, we didn't have an issue necessarily where like people were being lazy. We were 18-year-olds fresh out of high school who had never worked a day in our fucking lives.
Right, yeah. There was just no work ethic like at all.
Yeah. You had the passion, you wanted it really badly, and every now and then you get something out, but like we were kids.
Yeah.
We barely knew anything, or we were adults, but barely adults, and still learning, still growing, and it took a while to develop a work ethic. The thing is, though, there are complications that come from working with other people. And it's not like, oh, this person messed up this or this person messed up this. It's scheduling. It's, okay, well, we're both available to meet and record this stuff today, and we want to get this done today really badly. When are you available? Like, I didn't expect to do it today. I have plans for my other job. I'm in college. I'm trying to get that handled. Or sometimes I'm just really tired. Yeah. And when you get older, you're going to do the work even when you're tired.
Yeah.
But you're fresh out of high school. So,
true,
a lot of times there's, just a bit more slacker in you. And it was just tough organizing all of it. We had one game review that came out. And then we had, it was Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes. And it was fun. But then we tried to do Spider-Man PS1. And oh my God, that was such a painful process. That was what pretty much killed it. Like, I was like, as we were doing Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes was when I decided I wanted to be a voice actor. So as we were doing this, and while I enjoyed working in this channel, I was like, this is a lot of work to get all these people together to film this video, to agree that this script is well written, to not, to have to look over and be like, okay, that's too long. We don't need that many details. Like, there was so much more complications when working with other people that, yeah, voice acting was a nice getaway because I'm still working with other people, but my work is done after I send you the audio and you approve it.
Yeah, totally. It's a more structured thing. You don't have to do every single part of it. I gotcha.
Yeah. You might come back to me with some more lines, but I'm not going to be expected to meet with anybody for anything unless I know, like, obviously there's conventions, but that's way later. And when you're working on like big budget studio stuff. But with this, I could just record this here, send it to somebody, get paid, and go on with my day.
Yeah.
It's nice and convenient. I don't have to hope somebody gets the editing done on time, because then the video can get uploaded and it can views and we can get enough subscribers so we can get paid. Like, it was just so much more simple. So yeah, it is a lot harder when you're working with people in the beginning, because either some people don't know what that work actually means, or it's just you're dumb high schoolers or fresh out of high schoolers that have not worked enough to be able to manage each other.
Yeah, totally.
And that's really what it was. Yeah, like there was no way.
It always happens, I feel like, just no matter what the artistic endeavor is, if you've worked with other people, you've dealt with that. Just because so many people love the idea of how it sounds, like, oh, yeah, that would be so cool to do that thing, but then they actually get into it, and then, like you said, there's scheduling conflicts, there's this, there's that, and then by the end of it, they're like, this is really hard for something that's probably not going to pay off, or if
anytime soon.
Yeah, anytime soon, that's for sure, yeah. So...
yeah. And it's something that it's like with the scheduling and the filming was a big thing, because, when I'm recording, I only have to worry about my takes. And I'm not saying I was perfect every take we were filming, but obviously there'd be times where, like, I record something, I think it's good, but they think maybe it could use some improvements. Now we got to film again. Or I think they could use improvements. Now we got to film again. And it adds so much more.
Right.
That, yeah, you eventually just cut it off, and it's just a lot easier to try to find a career that you can do kind of on your own.
Yeah.
I don't know how people do like big group channels. I really don't.
Me either, dude. I don't. I mean, like, it's got to keep like a very core group of people. Yeah. I just started this new show on here called Talking Comics, where I'm just going through comics with my friend, and it's just, like, the only reason I can do that with him is just because I've known him forever, and I just know that he's going to be down, and I know that guy is, like, very dedicated to comic books and stuff too. So
yeah, that's a big thing too. Knowing the person you're working with is going to be able to do, what you need from them.
Yeah, that guy, it's kind of a bunny trail here, but that guy, geez, my face is going all weird. Anyway, that guy just got every issue from X-Men 100 to X-Men 300, which is like totally fucking mind-blowing that he's been collecting it for like the last couple of years, and he finally has everyone from 100 to 300, which is the Dark Phoenix saga. That's
pretty insane.
The Mutant Massacre, Days of Future Past, like so much cool shit.
I really wish I read more comics.
Oh my god, dude. Well, if you ever need any good recommendations,
I've read Dark Knight Returns, Killing Joke, Under the Red Hood. What was the other one I got not that long ago that was also a movie?
Did you like those?
Under the Red Hood? Under the Red Hood was, I mean, all of them. Yeah. Dark Knight Returns was a little long, but I will say that scene where the fight between Batman and Superman is really good.
Yeah.
And it's 10 times better than I like the Zack Snyder film, for the record, but it's still better than that film.
Okay.
It's still much better.
I won't hold it against you. Don't worry. I know some very good people who like that. Who like that movie.
I like that movie.
Yeah.
Then again, okay. I have not seen it in years. I haven't watched it in forever because it's, especially the Snyder cut, is super long.
Yeah. No, I'm just an adamant hater. I think I want to talk to Zack Snyder fans for, like a big, because I know this one guy that I talk to on Twitter sometimes who's like a huge Snyder fan. I'll say Snyder does some things very well. I think the costumes are great. Like in Justice League, I think all the superhero costumes are great. I think the way that he shoots things, like he's obviously like a good director, like aesthetically, like things look cool.
Yeah.
Some of the action sequences are good. I just think that he has like a really terrible understanding of the characters in general. But that's just my opinion, I could
get that, yeah. And like this thing, you're coming from a comic book point of view. I just enjoyed the film. Like, I get Batman really shouldn't kill.
Yeah,
but like
stab Superman to death with a giant spear. Like the smartest detective in the world.
He was like a grizzled war veteran, dude. He was just like, no, he's got to be Bad Alpha. We got to take him down. Yeah, like, he was just so paranoid that shit was gonna go off at any point. It was great. I loved it. I'm sorry.
No, it's understandable. There's definitely some very cool things about it, like undeniably.
Yeah.
Wait till I come back. There I am.
You're good.
I really need to get a better program that doesn't cut out every 3 seconds. What's like your favorite comic that you've read? Do you know? Like, which one did you read where you're like, that was pretty badass?
I guess I'll go with The Crow off of the top of my head, because that's the only one I could say. Like, I mean, I've read Death of the Family as well. Like, it was pretty good, but I'm trying to go for maybe some of them more interesting. The Crow is Have you read that?
Wait, no, I haven't. But Death in the Family, do you mean like the old 80s one where Jason Todd dies?
Death of the Family. There's Death in the Family, the original, and then there's Death of the Family, which is when Joker has like remember, he doesn't really have his face, and he tries to feed the faces to Batman.
That's like
his family's faces.
That's the Scott Snyder run, which is that same guy that I was just telling you about. He also owns every single one of those, every single one of the new 52 detective or Batman comics. He owns all of those. Yeah, the Scott Snyder run was really, really good.
That was a pretty good comic, yeah.
Which is funny because his name is Scott Snyder, understands Batman. Zack Snyder thinks
he does not. They need to work together on this one thing.
I honestly just think that Zack Snyder should do like a Spawn movie. I think he would fucking rock a Spawn movie.
I have never read enough Spawn to know.
I just think that like you get like a gritty character who likes to murder people. Have him do a Punisher movie, maybe something like that. You know what I mean?
I could see that working.
Yeah, like he would kick ass at that. I just don't think that. Like Superman, Batman, these are characters I just feel like that aren't really in his ballpark, you know what I mean? But that's just my opinion. Yeah, I think that he did 300 really well too. I know he didn't write.
I never see that, but I know a lot of people liked it.
Yeah, Watchmen was
I heard that's not mixed bag.
Yeah, not perfect, but still pretty good as far as like comic book adaptations go. I mean, you know, especially for that time. Like there's a lot of really bad ones out there.
Yeah. Actually, The Crow had an adaptation that I like, but some people are mixed on it. Have you you never read The Crow?
I haven't seen it, but you're talking about the Brandon Lee one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen the movie, but I haven't read the comic, no.
The comic, I mean, they're close. They're very close, but they definitely change a few things. They basically change it because I can imagine some studio director looking at it like, if we don't change these things, there's going to be no conflict in the plot. Like there's no big thing to conquer at the end, and like some plight our hero has to fight. And so they added a few things, changed a few things here and there. But if you read the comic, like just to sum it up in short, are you okay with spoilers?
Yeah, no, I don't mind. Go
Okay.
ahead.
To sum up in short, in the comic, he's invincible. You can't shoot the crow and then he becomes human or mortal all of a sudden. He's completely invincible. So there's no point where anything is a threat to him. It's all about him just getting his revenge and then like reliving the memories, unfortunately. That's just the entire comic.
If only it was like that in the live action adaptation, right? Sorry, that was not a good joke. Not a.
It took me a minute to get that one. That was a really funny one.
No, that was fucked up.
Sorry, I'm an edgelord.
For those of you who don't know, Brandon Lee was shot with a. He was Alec Baldwin. He was the first person who was Alec Baldwin. Yeah.
But they thought, or it was a defective blank, right?
Oh yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, it was a defective blank. I guess Alec Baldwin. He just used an actual gun.
It was a defective blank, or there was. Yeah, he used an actual gun, but. There's like a defective blank that got messed up, and so it actually shot out when it wasn't supposed to.
And it got him like right in the right spot or something like that. Poor guy.
Yeah, he was done.
That sucks, man, because he was a really cool dude.
Yeah.
I bet. Anyway, not trying to be a bummer here. Yeah, that is a good film.
No, it's cool. That's a good film, and I think his performance in that almost influenced Heath Ledger's a little bit. Sometimes when I watch those movies, I feel like the performance is a little similar.
Yeah.
Something with the face paint. I don't know.
Poor, I forget her name, but Bruce Lee's wife. Like, geez, she went through a lot of shit, huh?
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah. I'm not trying to be a bummer or anything. And now I'm just thinking about the Lee family and all the shit they had to go through.
I only know the Brandon Lee story, and I know Bruce Lee's history.
Yeah, Bruce Lee, he died after. Yeah, you know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brain aneurysm.
I know Bruce Lee pretty well, and I only know Brandon Lee from The Crow.
Do you know Bruce Lee pretty well? You've seen all the movies?
I've never seen his movies, no, but I know of him. Like I know the legend, basically.
You should. Well, if you're gonna watch a Bruce Lee movie, I think the most accessible one is probably Enter the Dragon, because that was like a Hong Kong Hollywood co-production, so it's probably like
I've heard that's pretty good.
Best produced. It's definitely like probably the most iconic. Yeah. But my favorite is Chinese Connection, because it's just a straight revenge story. It's real gritty, and it's just Bruce Lee going and fucking killing all these people who deserve it because they fucked with his dojo.
Oh, yeah. I would like to watch that. Is that stuff on Netflix at all? Because like I don't know. I mean, I have Netflix, but I don't order movies online too much.
It might be, but you could.
I gotcha.
You could. Yeah.
Don't pirate.
Don't pirate. You know, there's other things pirates like doing besides rape.
Yeah. And pillage. They like enjoying films from time to time.
Right. Yeah. And listen, there might be some like moral questions about that, but I feel like with an old movie like that, who's it hurting if you kind of.
I was really hoping you didn't even mention the movie, so I could like lead you down this path to where I somehow say, "You mean raping? Like raping?"
Yeah, it's like
I was so hoping it would go there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I get you.
But yeah, no, Chinese Connection is very good. A fun fact about Bruce Lee too is that one of the last movies that he did was Game of Death, which he like kind of stopped halfway through to go do Enter the Dragon, and then right after he entered the Dragon, he died. So then Game of Death was only halfway done, and then they had to get another actor to kind of come in and finish up the scenes that he didn't do. So they had like a bunch of shots from like behind and like only half of his face and stuff like that. That's the one where he fought Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who's like that super tall black basketball player from back in the day.
Who you're talking about. Yeah,
you might have seen that, but that was great too, because that whole movie is just so comic booky, because he's literally going up like a
old kung fu films are the best.
Yeah, the whole premise is he's going up a giant like tower of death, and like on every floor there's like another bad guy he has to fight. Yeah, good shit. I'm a huge fan of kung fu. Huge fan of kung fu. Yeah. Have you seen Drunken Master with Jackie Chan?
I've heard of it. There's a lot of movies. I haven't watched a lot of movies since I was in like high school. There's something with my brain where the idea of sitting down for like an hour and a half, usually longer than an hour and a half, to sit and watch something is just grating to me. Yeah. I don't know why.
No, it's understandable. I get what you're saying. That I'm like that if it's anything that I don't like at all. Like, I don't even want to take a fucking chance with it, right? So after Batman versus Superman, for instance, I didn't watch any DC movies for like 6 years.
I can respect that.
Yeah.
I could respect that a little more if it was Suicide Squad. I would say that was at least 10 times worse. I hated that movie.
That's what I hear. I never watched it. I saw scenes from it and they were pretty.
The first one was pretty bad.
Pretty bad. The second one was cool though. The James Gunn one. I liked that.
Yes, that was really good. I actually saw that one in theaters.
Yeah.
It takes a lot, but like if you're going to a theater, that might be one thing, because we have a theater around my area where you can like get actual food and there's heated seats and everything.
Seats?
Yeah, there's heated seats. You can push your legs up.
That's kick ass. Wow.
Yeah, so going to see a movie is actually fun that way. But as far as just sitting down and watching a movie, that's pretty hard for me.
Dude, I remember back where I lived, there was a drive-in, which is like such an old school thing now. I don't even know how many drive-ins are left in the country.
I've never been to a drive-in. That's how old they are.
Yeah. We used to go to this drive-in all the time, and you could just sit back and do illegal substances and enjoy the movie. You know what I mean? No one would say anything. Yeah. It was fun.
Why are we going to bother the people in their cars?
Yeah, no, you're not. I mean, you just roll the windows up, you know, you don't be too loud about it. No one says anything. It was a fun time.
Yeah. What was it? Did you ever hear that story about I do remember hearing about like a drive-in where on one side they were playing like the 3D SpongeBob movie, and then on the other side was like the new 50 Shades or whatever.
Dude, they do things like that sometimes. Yeah, I've seen stuff like that at this one too. Because they would have like one screen here and then another screen behind you. But
so all you gotta do is turn around and you see like the most kinky things of little Timmy's brain.
Oh no. Yeah, that was interesting too. Because you know how you would hear the movie is you would have to go to the right radio station, and it would come through your car speakers. Yeah. So,
okay. Well, so at least you don't get the movie coming in.
Well, yeah, no, I know, but just think if you accidentally try to change it for a second and SpongeBob's voice becomes like a loud moan of ecstasy. You know what I mean?
Oh, that would be horrific.
Oh no, what have we done?
Master's got you. Like what have Patrick comes on screen.
Fuck.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. Have you seen any good movies lately? I don't know where this is going. I'm just curious.
I got you. I'm trying to think. My memory is also shit. So I haven't really watched a movie in a bit. I did watch a Richard Ramirez documentary last Sunday, though.
Who's Richard Ramirez?
The Night Stalker.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
I guess hey, Horror Shorts Party, it makes sense that you'd be into that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I haven't got to watch a good serial killer documentary in forever. First off, I thought he was just a serial killer. I didn't realize he had, molested a lot of children, apparently, too. Or M-word, a lot of children. Sorry.
Serial killing is one thing, but molesting, come on.
It made it harder to watch. I'll tell you that. But yeah, that's really how it is. Have you seen Count Dankula?
Yeah. I know him. He's the Nazi pug guy who got in trouble for that, right? Yeah.
Yeah. He had a video where he did the murder and he has a series called Absolute Mad Lads, and he basically covers crazy people from history. He did Murder Incorporated, and on that joke you were saying about murder's fine, but all this other stuff. These people did a hit on some mob boss, but then one of the guys shot the dog of the mob boss as well.
Fucked up.
And then
too far.
The media and the goons were all like, "Why would you do that?
Yeah.
Why would you shoot their dog? What is wrong with you? I can understand killing." They were all pretty much in agreement. Okay, I get murdering the mob boss, but who the hell shoots a dog?
Murdering the boss is one thing, but come on, you fucking killing the
legit.
dog.
It was like, what do you mean you killed the dog, you sick fuck?
What a piece of fucking shit this guy is.
It was a fucking puppy. It was a puppy and you did nothing wrong, you bitch.
You fucking schmuck. You fucking no good piece of shit.
I can't do Italian for shit.
I don't know if I can or not. That's just...
You did better than me, I'll tell you that.
Yes. It's just I'm
channeling
Sopranos. Have you seen Sopranos?
Yeah, I have not. I have not seen Sopranos. I've seen clips, little things of Tony Gandolfini, but I've never seen
James Gandolfini.
I've never seen Sopranos. Sorry.
No, it's okay. His character's name is Tony. That's why you got it mixed up.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Because I vaguely know that show. Horror Shorts Party sends me so many stories at this point that like a lot of times I'll look at them and I'm like, I don't know if I could do that. I'm like, you still want me to send it? He's like, yeah, go ahead. And I send it and I'm expecting him to be like, no, you're going to have to do that again, or I might have to get someone else for that. But he's just like, yeah, that's good. That's good.
That's funny.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun.
Going back to comic books, we were talking about Zack Snyder, Watchmen, things like that. Alan Moore, I saw the rings on your fingers, and it reminded me. It kind of reminded me. Do those have any significance, or do you just think they're badass?
Nah, these just looked really cool. It was one of those scam sites that said they were going out of business, and I was pretty certain they weren't. But these looked really cool.
They do look cool.
So yeah. So I was like, all right, $20, all these. I'm not going to be too upset.
See, I don't know if you know much about Alan Moore, but he wears like a ton of rings and he kind of fancies himself a wizard or whatever.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. Yeah. I know what Alan Moore looks like. He looks like one.
Yeah, he's a real life Gandalf, but he just did a lot of hallucinogens, you know? Like if Gandalf just did a ton of acid, that would be Alan Moore.
It's the same thing with... I think that's the same thing with a lot of people who get deep into occultism and magic and all that stuff. They take some drugs, a lot of them. Like Aleister Crowley, I think he eventually believed the stuff he actually did, but I also know he took like every drug imaginable.
Really?
He legit tried to preach in the Book of the Law. There's a passage where one of the gods says, to worship me, take various drugs thereof. And then it says, worry not that they shall harm ye. It is a lie. They shall not harm ye at all. At all. The same man got addicted to heroin.
You'll be fine. Don't worry about it. Yeah. Wow.
Don't worry that the leader is shaking in the corner, tweaking.
Fucking rock and roll, man.
Yeah.
So you are into occultism. Like, how deep are you? Like, what do you like? Are you just interested in it? Have like a basic interest, like to read up on it? Like what?
So I got into occultism when I got into Satanism. When I had first heard of Satanism and what it actually was and everything, and I was like, oh, okay. So I picked up the Satanic Bible, gave it a read, and I'm an edgelord who likes to, wear dark symbolism and stuff. So pretty much this just was like, okay, now you're an atheist, and now you have like a cool necklace you can wear around and a symbol, and stuff.
Yeah.
So it was. And philosophy, I agree with. It was, it's a little deeper, but it's not much.
The philosophy, more or less, is that you're just kind of looking out for numero uno, right? Just looking out for yourself, and you don't take shit from people. Like, it's really not a bad philosophy at all.
Yeah, and it's pretty rational. At the time, it was written in like the 1960s. So at the time,
from Timothy LaVey, like that guy?
Anton LaVey.
Oh, sorry, wrong name. Yeah,
you're fine. Timothy McVeigh. I got you.
Anton LaVey. It was a dude from San Francisco, I believe. Like
he might have been from San Francisco. I can't remember.
But anyway,
I wouldn't be surprised.
That is the guy who like put together the form of Satanism that you're into.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So I got into that, and I started wearing the necklaces and everything. And I agree with the philosophy very much, which is just you got to look out for yourself if you want. To make certain things happen, if you want to be a big voice actor like I want to be, you have to keep working every day. You have to make that happen. You can't just sit around and even if you record a project, like for example, if I record a big project, I still have other stuff I have to do. Basically.
Yeah.
Even though that took a lot of work and I want to relax, I still have to go work.
None of that Christian God helps those who help themselves bullshit. It's just help
you're
yourself.
You're on your own, man.
Yeah.
You can ask for help, don't expect it to actually come through.
Yeah.
That's basically the rule.
The Beelzebub thing on your, is that Beelzebub?
Baphomet, yeah.
Or Baphomet.
But yeah.
God, I'm getting my demons mixed up. Is there any significance to that, or do you just think it looks cool? It does look cool, I think. But
I mean, there is significance to a degree. This is a satanic symbol, and it is not at the same time. I'm going to sound insane. But this symbol, the Baphomet, is the cover of Transcendental Magic by Eliphas Levi, who was not a Satanist. He was a Catholic. he was a Catholic who practiced magic and studied magic way after Christians had tried to like eliminate all of that stuff, basically. And he used it as a symbol of balance. His whole thing was and duality, balance and duality. So it's like, I'm not going to point at it, but man, woman, beast, animal.
Yeah.
Earth, sky with the wings and everything. Night, day, left, right, up, down. So it's supposed to symbolize duality.
It's a goat with wings.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And I just kind of see it as the same way I see like the sigil of Baphomet or Leviathan Cross, which is more of a symbol of power type thing. I think it looks really cool. So it's, I guess, empowering, like a better word. That's what people might use.
That's cool. Yeah. I've seen that before, but I didn't know that was what it was about. The whole up, down, left, right kind of deal. Sky, ground.
Yeah. It's look. I read the book. I want to read it again because I'm not going to lie to you. A lot of occult magic has gobbledygook language that doesn't make sense at all.
Yeah.
It's like the duads become the triads, and the triads become the quadrads, and then, or like it'll make sense, but then you'll get to the next chapter, and you're like, wait a minute, why did I even read that? Why was that even necessary?
Have you ever done any? Have you ever drawn any sigils or done any kind of spells or anything? Like that?
I do Greater Magic Ritual, which is basically, supposedly, it is a form of psychotherapy where we sort of play out our issues in this role where we're like a dark wizard or something cringy like that.
Yeah.
We play out like we're some dark wizard, and we have these, not all Satanists do this, just for the record. I do,
right?
Just because I find it fun.
So don't blanket all Satanists in this, ladies and gentlemen, okay?
Don't say all don't make fun of all of them. Some of them are going to find me very cringy for this, and that's fine. That's perfectly fair. But I just got bored one day and I did it, and it was fun, so I just decided to kind of keep doing it. It adds a sense of structure that makes life a little easier in a weird way. I don't know how though.
Wait, so basically you're just like RPing, you're like role playing like a character.
Yeah, I'm role playing. It's essentially the same thing I do here, but I, role play. I get like my book out. I might put out my hand like a wizard or something stupid like that, and I'll recite the invocations for the lust, compassion, or destruction ritual, and I'll perform those, and then I just go do whatever task I need to do next. Whatever's on my schedule next, just get to it. And I think there's something about the writing, how emotional it is, how like poetic it sounds. It's supposed to empower you. I can't prove it does anything, so I'm not trying to make claims that it does. You know what I mean?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe even if it's just I don't want to say this.
It's placebo.
But
it's placebo.
But even if it is, that can still be effective. I mean, people go to chiropractors. People get needle therapy. You know what I mean? People do all sorts of shit that like helps them. So if it does,
and I don't know how, but it makes it where when like some issue comes up, I don't get something done that I really wanted to get done, I'm less stressed about it.
Yeah.
It makes it so that I'm not consciously thinking I'm not doing enough. Somehow it helps with that. And I think it's because it provides this feeling of structure. Since I know I'm going to do this every day, it feels like I have more control over my life, I guess. Like I have more control over my routine. And I think there's something cathartic because when I'm doing the ritual and I'm playing this role, there's no concern that I have to send this out to a client.
Right.
There's no concern that my gain is too loud, or too quiet. There's no concern that I'm too close to the mic.
Yeah.
There's no concern about mouth clicks. There's just like, I basically get to do my acting and not worry about a bunch of stuff for like 10 minutes. And then I just go back to whatever bullshit I need to do.
I could see how that would be like a nice experience just for that alone, right? Yeah, cool.
Yeah, and you just, and I'm just wired very weirdly. So incorporating sort of real life issues or things into it kind of helps. That's why they call it like psychotherapy. You taking these issues that you have and putting them in this environment where you have complete control, and you're sort of imagining that you're going to do all the things that you're going to try to work to make happen. So it's motivation.
Like a more badass image board kind of. Or whatever they call that thing where you write it down and then you're like, I'm going to do this. It's kind of...
like mental notes type thing. It's like badass positive affirmations.
Exactly. Badass positive affirmations. None of those pussy ass yoga affirmations.
No.
Yeah.
Our shit ends with Hail Satan.
Are there like any, I don't know what you call it, congregations, Satanist congregations in your area?
Wish I could find them. I don't fucking know of any.
Yeah. Well, I suppose they're probably, if you're living in like a smaller place right now, I imagine that they're only in like bigger cities and stuff.
Yeah, I'd imagine. I'd like to meet some because that's the whole point, right? You're supposed to try to meet like-minded individuals, or that's one of the benefits.
For sure.
Like the part of the benefit of being a Satanist for me, as opposed to being an atheist, is that placebo effect from ritual, and also the idea that, hey, you can meet a bunch of people that are probably a bunch of edgelords like you that probably like the same things that you do. And I want to, but I can't find any. I cannot find any. They're rare. I've tried to go on like little, they're like group meeting websites or something. I met a friend of mine who's big into that, and they'll find like these little pages if you want to go to like a winery, they call them, or a wine tasting, whatever they call those.
Yeah.
You could set up meetings that way. People do that. And I found like pagan and Wiccan groups, but no, you're not going to find a whole lot of Satanist groups.
Yeah, pagan and Wiccan is not the same thing at all. I have way less... no hate against anyone. Do whatever you want to do, but I definitely have way less respect for pagan and Wiccans than I do for Satanists. I've met... Good. I was just going to say that, again, I think that the general philosophies behind Satanism are actually, like, pretty beneficial to people. Like, I've known Satanists before. They've told me, like, why it helps them, and it's basically just amping yourself up. You're a badass. Yeah. You've got this. You've got control. Take control of your own life. Whereas, like, paganism is like, I worship trees and shit, so...
You're basically like a spiritual hippie.
Right.
If you're a pagan. And, like, if you're a Satanist, you're an atheist in evening clothes who... It's like, I just like to role play the magic. Like, I don't believe it actually does anything. Yeah. It's just fun to play pretend for a minute and then go back to my boring ass adult life I gotta do.
I know a guy who was very into occult stuff, and he would make sigils, and he would like do spells and do all that kind of stuff. And he swears up and down, and this is not a guy like... Obviously, I don't believe this, but this is not a guy who has any reason to lie to me, so I don't know why he would say this. But he says that he, like, heard a bunch of voices one night, like, after he did something like that, and it, like, fucked with him, and it really scared him so much that he, like, never touched that kind of stuff again.
Okay.
Have you ever...
I'm not going to tell you I don't believe him. I'm going to tell you I think there might have been some other stuff going on, but I'm not going to tell you I don't believe.
What do you mean, like he was on drugs or something like that?
He might have been on drugs.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe like, because like auditory hallucinations, like maybe drugs and like lack of sleep or something.
Drugs, lack of sleep, because I do know, I've read other occult books, and like where Satanism tries to keep it healthy and tries to make sure you don't do anything stupid. Old occult books will be like, to perform this spell, you need to fast for 7 days, and it's like, yo,
right,
it's not good for your body.
So yeah,
and I think that might have been why, like, some of the requirements for those rituals were so grueling. I could imagine you hallucinating stuff.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, that makes sense, because I think that this kind of shit he was into. I don't think it wasn't Satanism.
What area did he live in, though?
What area?
And were the voices close? Were they like right here? Or did he just hear some talking around him?
I think it was like just kind of around, like, you know.
Because I could just imagine that he was super freaked out after doing the ritual, started hearing that stuff because some book said, oh, you might hear something, or there might be some event afterwards, so be careful. Make sure you've protected yourselves. I've read a lot of these books. They're all very serious. They're like, oh, you got to make sure you put the right sigils down and say the right blessings and make sure you they try to make it so intricate so that way if it doesn't go right, you can it's your fault. They didn't mess it up. You didn't do the spell right. But I think he might have just heard something and freaked out.
I know that he'd done like similar things a few times, but that's my guess too, is that he was probably just up too late or whatever that night. But it freaked him the fuck out, and he was like super into that kind of stuff, and then after that he was like never again. So
I think what it is, it's also, he's more supernaturally inclined, right? Like he believes in demons, he believes in spirits.
Yeah.
He believes in all that stuff. And when you believe in all that stuff right off the bat, it primes your brain to believe in more. Like, and I'm not trying to insult anybody.
No, I totally understand. It's like people who believe in ghosts are going to be a way more people who believe in ghosts, yeah, they're going to be like way more afraid of like a dark house than like you or I would be. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Like like it's just imagine it like this. It's the difference between like if you hear a noise when it's late at night and you think ghosts are real, you might think it's a ghost. But if you don't think ghosts are real, you're going to think it's an animal. And if it's big enough that you know it's not an animal, you're going to be smart enough to be prepared. It might be an intruder, which is actually something you should be scared of.
Right. I've seen those cartoons. You should be afraid of home invasions.
Yes.
They get pretty fucked up.
Yes, absolutely.
But yeah, no, totally. So yeah, it was probably something like that. Man, that sucks though that you can't find any like-minded people. That's why you have to become a famous voice actor, move to LA, and then I'm sure that they're just fucking everywhere.
I'm sure there's
right?
Satanists everywhere. It is really hard to find a lot of them. Frederick is a relatively country area.
Frederick. Oh, is that the name of the town? Oh,
Frederick, Maryland. Yeah, it's the area. It's not the exact place I live, but it's the area.
Right.
Frederick, Maryland is a very country area. Very, like, liberal on some issues, but still very conservative for the most part.
I grew up in Indiana, so it was the most conservative shit that you could possibly imagine, more or less.
Yeah.
Yeah, not great. But
yeah, I once on a side, I once scared one of my college mates with these necklaces on a sign. It was somebody in a classroom that like would legit back up every time she saw them.
Yeah, I probably would have been one of those people. I was a little Christian boy when I was a kid. I was like afraid of The Exorcist, and I thought that people could get possessed and all sorts of other stupid shit. But basically, long story short, basically what happened with me is I found out, well, I kind of already knew it, but I kind of tried to put it to the back of my head. And I one day I was just kind of forced to realize that if you don't believe in Jesus, the Bible basically says that you're going to hell, right? Like God gave his son to earth to be sacrificed for our sins. So if you don't accept that, you go to hell, which means that there are like entire countries that are going to hell, you know, just like,
there's a lot of people,
like billions of people who have lived and who will live, who are currently living, are all going to hell. So
yeah,
I just thought,
make you see what this message is.
No, it's all good. I was just saying that I feel like God, if he exists, would not be that petty. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I don't know.
Yeah, that's one of the things where like I'm reading the Bible currently because it's more of, I think the knowledge is important. So if there's ever a point where somebody says, oh, well, you know, you need to read this, I could just be like, yeah, I've read it. And in my favorite passage is when an angel tells a slave to quit bitching about getting raped and get back to work. Like that shit happens.
Did that really happen?
I didn't make that up. That's a legit story.
Jesus, the Bible on HBO.
Bro, it's insane.
That is really crazy. Do you remember where that's from?
It's in the Old Testament. It's the story of Abram and Sarai. And yeah, before they become Abraham and Sarah, God tells them, you're going to have a baby. But we're too old. You're going to have a baby. Okay. So they go on with their day. They keep having sex, but they're not having a baby. Sure, Abram does not have an issue with this, let's be real, but he's pretending like he does.
Right.
And Sarai is complaining. She wants a kid. So she says, rationally, hey, I'm too old to have a kid. Maybe God meant we just need to have a kid. Not through me, though. You can have sex with my maid, which really was just a term for slave back then.
Yeah.
Like in some version, it's slave, some it's maid. But regardless, you usually don't bang the maid consensually.
Right.
So yes, Abram then, and it had some very poetic way of putting it. I think it was something like he went into her, something like that. And they said that the maid looked at Sarai with hatred and disgust in her eyes or something like that. And then Sarai wanted to beat the slave because how dare she be upset at her?
Yeah. Don't you know I talk to God? Do you know who I am?
So she's like, we got to beat the slave. And Abram's like, it's your slave. I don't care.
Hey,
do what you want.
Do it. Hey, don't tell me what to do with, yeah, don't tell me what to do with my shit. I won't tell you what to do with yours, eh?
Yeah. And so she beats her. So the slave runs away, is like near a river or a lake or something, crying. An angel of the Lord comes to it. She goes, it's not said like this, but they forced me to be with her husband, and now I'm forced with child. Go back to your masters and mistress, and do your work, for your child will live a long life and will have many children, and your ancestors shall descend upon the world. That was like, there, that'll make you feel better. Go home now.
Was that child Isaac?
I can't remember if it was Isaac or not. Because there's so many, this begat this person, and this begat this person, and this and this. There's so much of that shit.
Yeah, there's a lot of that in the Bible. They didn't tell me that story in Sunday school for some reason, though. I don't remember that. They skipped the whole he raped his maid thing.
And then God came back and they had sex themselves. I think he was angry that they had a kid.
Yeah.
He didn't do anything, but he was like, no, you two are going to have a kid. And then they have a kid. And then it's like, so you knew this was going to happen. You couldn't stop them before the rape.
He was busy. He was doing other stuff. Yeah. Oh man, dude, so many good stories. Speaking of Abraham, the more classic one that everyone knows, right, is that they were God's like, listen, if you love me, then you need to go kill your son. You need to go sacrifice your son for me. And Abraham's like, really? I got to do that? And he's like, listen, if you love me, you're going to do it. So without telling his son, he basically is like, hey, we're going to go on a little camping trip up in the mountains. And he's like, oh boy, let's go, camping trip, yay. And then, they're walking up the mountains.
I have a knife, Dad.
Yeah, it's just like, you're the best dad ever. Let's play I Spy on the way there. I Spy, the best dad, It's just, and just the somber faced Abraham walking, while and then they get up to the top. He grabs his son, he puts him on the sacrificial slab, right? Because literally he puts him on a sacrificial slab, ties them all up, pulls the knife out, and he's just like, I gotta do this for God. And Isaac's like, I understand, I guess, and and then the angel comes back and he's like, don't worry, you don't actually have to. God just wanted to know that you would. And
I just need to make sure that when the time comes, you'll be ready.
Yeah. I just want to know that you love me more than you love your son's life. And since you do, it's fine. I'm going to be cool. Yeah. You don't actually have to murder your son. And Abraham's like, thanks. And Isaac was in therapy for the rest of his life.
Yeah, it's so... There's so many fucked up stories like that, dude.
Yeah. And then, of course, the story of Abraham, which is God and the devil have a bet.
No, that's Job.
Oh, Job. Yeah, the story of Job, where God and the devil have a bet. And the devil's like, well, the only reason he likes you is because you give him all this shit, God. And God's like, no, he likes me for me, you son of a bitch. I'll fucking kill his whole family, and then we'll see what happens. So
do what you want, yeah.
Yeah, makes his family sick with the plague. They all die, destroys all of his crops, ruins them. He went from this very successful man to a man out on the streets, a leper, cast out of society. And he still said, I love you, God. And then God's like, see, I showed you. I showed you. Yeah.
Even if I beat him, he still listens.
And the devil was like, all right, I guess you got me. I had a lot of fun, though, so who's the real loser here, huh?
One of my favorite parts in the Bible is just when Lot is talking with God because he's saying he's going to smite Sodom and Gomorrah. And he's like, what if there's 500 good people in there, though? There's a lot of people there, God.
Yeah.
But if there's 500, and he's like, if there's God at first was like, no, but he's like, if there's 500, I won't murder them. Okay, what if there's 100? Just 100 good people. 100's still a lot.
Yeah.
If it's 100, I won't murder them. Okay, what about what if I can get 50 people out of there? 50. Is that good enough for you? All right, he basically this dude works God down to 50 people. I'll let you get 50 people out before I smite this place.
He had to haggle, right?
Yeah.
And then the other great part of that story is while they're leaving, God just makes up this crazy arbitrary rule where he's like, which is kind of God's thing, right? But he makes up this crazy arbitrary rule where he's like, if you turn around, you're fucking dead. And then, of course, one of them turns around, bam, pillar of salt, just instantly.
Yeah.
Just for fun.
That story insane.
Well, and the funny thing about that is that it's such a human... This is actually from X-Men, the animated series. Fun fact, Xavier was talking about this. But the funny thing about that is that it's such a human thing to do. To, like, be curious, to want to look, right?
Yeah.
Just like the apple of knowledge from Adam and Eve. It shouldn't be like a negative thing to seek knowledge, but the Bible kind of portrays it like knowledge bad, blind faith
anything
good.
Outside of this book is bad. Like,
right.
It irritates me so much because, if you ever like argue with a Christian on certain things, or if you ever, it sucks because you'll try to be respectful with them, but they'll try to throw you some passage. Like some poetic passage. Well, God said that in this time, and only the blind don't follow him. I'm like, oh, that's great. I get that makes you feel really fucking smart, doesn't it? Like, it's so irritating because you're not arguing rationally.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah, I mean, like most religions, there's good in there too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I have some. Like I said, I come from a very conservative place. I have some very good friends that are Christian. It's just that
when I started reading the Satanic Bible, when I started to get into Satanism, that's when I started to respect religion a little more. Like, I still got irritated with it, but I understood. I'm like, oh, okay, so there's something about the way these books are written that emotionally resonates with people.
Yeah.
That can actually give them not the truthful life, not a life where, they understand the world as it is, but they are happier. And at the end of the day, as an atheist, since I feel like we only have this one life, why am I going to try to take that happiness away unless they're trying to infringe on my rights in some way?
Right, exactly. That's how I feel too. Just live and let live, right? I mean... Yeah.
It's not my job to save them. I can't get them out of that.
Unfortunately, Christians do not feel the same way most of the time.
No, they do not. No, they do not. And there's nothing that disgusts me quite as much as seeing a little kid come up to me with one of those pamphlets, because I know this kid means no harm, but I want to punch their parents dead in the face.
Yeah, I know. I feel the same way, man. It was, I saw a lot of that growing up. It's unfortunate.
Yeah. I'm not trying to be rude, but I got to get going soon.
Oh, yeah. I was actually going to say that too. But it was a good talk. I think this was a good one. I'm not for sure when this is going to go up because I've got like a million other videos I got to get out first, but probably in like a week or two, and I'll tell you about it. Okay.
Cool.
But it was great talking to you. We should do this again sometime, maybe. Like,
I would definitely be down.
If you do some big, cool new thing or what?
Yeah. If you even want to start like a podcast or something, you just decide to talk or something, you need some guests every now and then, even if it's not like, oh, here we're going to interview. We're just talking about shit. I'm fine to get on.
I think that's kind of what this whole thing is going to sort of morph into. I'm kind of experimenting right now because
I got you.
My channel has just been completely turned on its fucking
I know. Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, it was off. It was good talking to you. We'll do it again sometime, man. Have a good one, dude. See ya.
You too. Peace.
Peace.